Chobani Greek yogurt, a delicious, creamy treat that people enjoy all over America. And for the most part, they know exactly what makes a good pairing. Greek yogurt and blueberries? Yes, please. Greek yogurt and Boston cream pie? Don't mind if I do. Greek yogurt and Hawaiian punch? No. No. One review compared it to chloroseptic throat spray, and to be honest, that outcome seems like it could have been caught at the drawing board. Which brings me to the proposed pairing of Chobani and the city of Rome. It's a pairing I genuinely hope works out, but somewhere between the yogurt and the groundbreaking, some questions appear to have gotten lost, and I want to find them. If you live in Rome, you've been hearing about Chobani for a year now. The site is cleared, the roundup is going about at Perimeter Road, and according to the mayor, grading permits for the foundations are coming within weeks. And every time this comes up, at a town hall, in a press release, or in the paper, the message is always the same. This is amazing. And truly it might be. 1,000 jobs in a city of 32,000 people is genuinely significant. That's not hype, it's just math. Now, I've talked to people in Rome who are excited, and I've talked to people in Rome who aren't. And when I asked the second group what was bothering them, nobody could quite put their finger on it. But I think I know what it is. It's not that they don't want Chobani here, it's that they keep being told this is amazing and nobody is showing them specifically why. There's a difference between $1 billion investment is coming to our region and Rome is getting a good deal. Those aren't the same sentences. So I went looking for the math, and I found some of it, and some of it I had to estimate, and some of it is incredibly speculative, which brings us to today. I'm going to lay out what I found. I'm going to tell you clearly what I'm guessing, and then formally, publicly beg the people with answers to correct me. So let's go. Let's start with what we actually know. Chobani is building a $1.2 billion food processing complex at the Griffiths Triangle site. 2.1 million square feet, 130 feet tall, running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1,000 employees across 3 shifts. The first milk target, early 2027. That's the facility. Now, this deal didn't happen without local government support, and I want to be clear up front that's normal. Public subsidies for major economic development happen everywhere. It's how it works. But let's actually count up what's been committed. There's $56 million in state food production grants, up to $73 million in state jobs tax credits, a $1.5 million federal wastewater grant, a sales tax exemption on construction materials worth $51.6 million, and a 40-year property tax abatement worth, and I want you to see this number, $385 million. $567 million confirmed. In public documents, that's the floor. And there may be more we haven't found yet. Again, this is not a scandal. This is how economic development works. But now the question is obvious. What does Rome get? Rome's share is a pilot agreement, which means payment in lieu of taxes, negotiated through the Oneida County Industrial Development Agency. Instead of property taxes, Chobani has agreed to pay $2 million a year, split between Oneida County, Rome schools, and the city of Rome. The city receives 35% of it, or $700,000 per year for the first 10 years, with a 1.5% annual increase each year after that. In exchange, Rome provides Chobani with water and sewer service every day for 40 years. Does that math work out for Rome? That's what I want to know, so let's find out. I want to tell you about 2 other cities first because they're instructive. We'll start with Twin Falls, Idaho, 2012. Chobani opened their first major plant there. It was the same company, just in a different city, and it was 13 years ago. Within 1 year of opening, the plant pushed Twin Falls' water treatment system to a near maximum capacity. The city voted to approve a $38 million public bond in 2013 to expand that capacity. Then, Chobani expanded again in 2024, and the city spent another $9.5 million on top of that. Webster, New York, right here, right now, in our state. Fairlife Coca-Cola built a dairy processing facility about half the size of what Chobani's building in Rome. Webster's own sewer department said the plant's wastewater impact was equivalent to 9,000 new homes. Webster is bonding $73 million in sewer infrastructure to support the plant. Half the size, $73 million. Now here's Rome. Rome's wastewater treatment plant currently handles about 6 million gallons a day. Its maximum rated capacity is 12 million gallons, and it already exceeds that capacity 20 times a year during heavy rain and snowmelt events. Chobani will add 3 million gallons a day, every day, for as long as the plant is here. And here's something else that's interesting. In September 2025, Chobani's own site plan stated in writing that Rome's wastewater treatment facility would not need to expand to handle the increased flow. On March 25, 2026, 2 weeks ago, Rome's Common Council voted to spend $3.8 million to study what sewer improvements are actually needed before Chobani arrives. These two can't be true at the same time. And I don't know which one's wrong. But Rome just spent $3.8 million to find out, and I think that tells you something. Now, here's where I want to be very transparent with you. The engineering study will produce the real number. So until it does, I had to estimate. I used a standard industry benchmark, $12 million per million gallons of added treatment capacity. I applied it to Rome's specific situation and discounted for expected state grants based on what comparable projects have received elsewhere. My estimate for sewer infrastructure upgrades is $54 million. Now, am I right? Almost certainly not exactly. I'm a guy with a laptop. The actual engineers doing the actual study will have the actual answer. The Webster precedent, by the way, suggests my number might be low. And that's not a fun sentence to say as a homeowner in Rome. This conversation has been going on for a year and nobody's said publicly what it's going to cost Rome to support this facility. I made up a number based on public data. Mine might be wrong. So here's the complete picture. Everything Rome gets, everything Rome spends. And I want to emphasize, I used the most favorable, reasonable assumptions I could find on the revenue side. Every close call went to Rome, so this is the optimistic version. Here's what Rome gets. $700,000 in confirmed pilot payments that we talked about already. Rome gets $500,000 in estimated sales tax revenue from Chobani employees spending wages locally, which is admittedly on the upper end of the range. $2.2 million in sewer revenue. $3.4 million in water revenue, again, both on the upper end, and an additional $80,000 in new property taxes from workers who might buy homes inside Rome's city limits, again, being very generous here. That brings the total annual revenue for Rome from Chobani moving in up to $6.8 million. Now here's what Rome spends. The incremental cost to actually treat Chobani's water and sewer volume, derived directly from Rome's own financial statements with the state comptroller, will likely be around $4.2 million. Road maintenance, which seems to be limited to only 1 lane mile on perimeter road, works out to about $41,000 a year. Electric grid improvements are not Rome's responsibility, so there's not a big problem there. And annual debt payments on that estimated $54 million sewer bond would be around $3.2 million a year. And if we also assume that the water upgrades going on right now are at least 10% for Chobani, that's another $250,000, bringing the annual cost to $7.7 million. And this is not a worst case number. This is the best case. If any revenue assumptions come in lower than I estimated, and some of them probably will, the deficit gets worse, not better. 2 things could change this math in a meaningful way, and this is important. First, has Rome negotiated an industrial surcharge on Chobani's wastewater? Dairy processing wastewater is 10 to 20 times stronger than standard residential wastewater. Municipalities that handle industrial dairy discharge typically apply a surcharge, 1.5 to 4 times the standard rate. If Rome has negotiated an appropriate surcharge with Chobani, the sewer math could change drastically. What looks like a loss in this ledger could become a $2 to $4 million annual gain. I could not find a pre-treatment agreement or an industrial surcharge structure anywhere in the public record. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, it just means I couldn't find it. Second, can Rome's water plant actually handle this? Rome's Frank Clark water filtration facility hit its highest ever single-day output in 2024 of 9.5 million gallons. Chobani needs 3 million gallons every single day on top of existing demand. The math requires Rome to reliably produce at least 11 million gallons daily. Its best day ever was 9.5, so has a capacity assessment been done? These are the 2 questions that could change everything, and I haven't been able to answer them from the public record. Which brings me to this. I'm a guy in Rome with a laptop and a concerning lack of reasonable hobbies. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a municipal attorney. I have never operated a wastewater treatment facility. I don't even really like yogurt. These numbers are estimated, educated estimates from public documents, but estimates. Some of them are probably wrong, maybe significantly wrong. I produced a 20-page report where I labeled every guess, showed every assumption. I did that specifically because I need someone to tell me where I messed up. So here is my formal, public, on-the-record request, and I mean this sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Please correct me. Look, Chobani coming to Rome might be the best thing that's happened to the city in a generation. The jobs are real. The investment is real. The regional impact could be genuinely significant. I want that to be true. But right now, the people in Rome are flying blind on trust. We've heard all about what Rome stands to gain. We haven't received a serious accounting of what Rome will pay. This ledger's my best attempt to fill that gap. It'll be updated when the engineering study comes in, when the real numbers are available, when somebody with the actual data shares it. In the meantime, Rome deserves the whole picture. Not because Chobani is bad, but because you can't make good decisions with half the information. Somewhere between the yogurt and the groundbreaking, the questions got lost. We're going to find them.